officiated my first ever wedding as a minister. The same week, I told my husband I wanted to separate. In a cruel bit of irony, my nickname for him had been Dearly Beloved. 3 years later, my younger brother George asked me to officiate his wedding. I envisioned standing before family and friends, some of whom I hadn't seen or heard from since they'd gotten wind of my divorce. Would they label me a fraud, a sorry excuse for a minister, or worse, a lesson in failure in an extended family that prided itself on longevity of marriage and religion? How could I explain to them that I still valued the covenant of marriage? I just couldn't stay in mine. When I told my mom how fraught this whole wedding thing felt, she said, "You don't have to officiate. George can find someone else." Someone else? I'd played board games with him, babysat him, built bed tents with him. I knew the 3-year-old circling the basement on his big wheel, the 6-year-old shooting hoops from the driveway, the 10-year-old jumping off the diving board shouting, "How about me, the number one?" He was my brother. No one but me was going to pronounce him somebody's husband. At the hotel, I unpacked my black clergy robe and practiced my liturgy. I rehearsed a fake homily that began, "You know your wedding's in trouble when your reverend's running from her marriage." My insides were a mixture of jealousy, inferiority, and pride, all swirled together in a cocktail of anxiety. Also, I needed a cocktail. Instead, I knelt by the bed and begged for help. A year earlier, I'd witnessed George kneel down on one knee outside the restaurant where our families waited with cameras poised. Watching him gaze up at his girlfriend, I felt my breath stop as he popped the question. All month, he'd been planning to propose in a hot air balloon, and the winds would never cooperate. But this way, we all got to see and applaud the moment she nodded yes, and I'll never forget the look on George's face. "How about me, the number one?" as he entered that restaurant to the sounds of our cheers. George was the first person I'd told once I knew. "I don't think I can stay married," I said, looking up from my scorecard at a Yankees game. He put down his beer and listened. He was my little brother, but I needed his advice. "I'm afraid of letting so many people down," I said. He looked at me with concern and love. "Cari," he said, "it's your life. You're the one who has to live it. I wish I knew what to tell you, but I know you'll know what to do." All I know is right now at the wedding chapel, my heart is filled to bursting with love for him. Just 2 feet in front of me, in a gray suit, he shifts his weight from right to left. The musicians begin playing "I'll Marry You," and George turns toward the doors slowly opening at the back of the room. His eyes look expectantly out over the heads of family and friends, and it is all I can do to contain the tears behind my eyes from pouring forth and spilling out over into the pews. As his soon-to-be wife floats down the aisle in a trail of white, the background of wedding guests and weathered pasts blurs into the distance because there is a love story to tell, and I get to be the one to tell it, to bless and pray and point to the source of all love, the one who carries us even when the wind changes. My brother and his bride join hands, and from behind that wooden podium, minister, sister, divorcee, I cherish the role I get to play. Dearly beloved, I begin.